Okay, so let's look at this. So yesterday we left another um, B-shaped profile, two in a row, right? Attempting to break lower and failing. Um, we were looking for the gap fill that never happened, and then it happened during the overnight session. It's more relevant when it happens during regular trading hours because this is a RTH gap, which hasn't been filled during the RTH, which is telling us that sellers are having trouble getting lower during the regular trading hours. Hold on, let me mute this tick strike for a second. So right now we have value above. We have the 5-day point of control up here at 68.91. We have the 20-day up here at 69.09, 69.08, and then what I'm looking at is whether we are able to accept or reject yesterday's value, right? Right now, earlier during the news, we were trading inside value. We looked above it, and then we rejected. We got below it again. Now we're getting back inside. So this area is important. We have the previous week's low here, which we broke by a tick yesterday, and then we rallied from there. And then again we look below now, and now we're failing to break out of this range. So usually when you fail to break out of a range, we want to look for the other side of the range, which right now is in the 69.70s area. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen today, but if we hold inside the range, then we should look for a move back into that area. Because it's we're failing to break out of this range. Now, if we are able to hold below the previous week's low, and sellers start gaining control again, then the target is in this 68.25 area, which is where the 20-day point of control, which is a monthly pivot, which is where the bearish imbalance from yesterday is, and the bearish imbalance from a couple of days ago is at 68.16. So this is the area to target if we're able to hold below the previous week's low. But this market, this is rollover week. We are in December. Today is December 16, which historically, the 16th of every month, we see a lot of bullish flows because people get paid the 15th. All this money goes into their retirement accounts. So usually it's a bullish day, the 16th. We're seeing a lot of selling lately at the open, so we'll see what happens today. Maybe we'll see some more of that selling, retest this area and then bounce. We'll see. But my main thing today is watching this previous week's low and yesterday's value to get a sense of where this market wants to go. If we get into this area, the 68.25 area, I'm gonna watch to see if we bounce from here, if we reject it, or if we start putting some volume here, get below it and clean the single prints, and then at that point I will be looking for a bounce around the 6800 area. If 6800 doesn't hold, then we have a lot of room to go down. We have some volume here at 67.70 and a 67.30, and then you see that change in color right here at 67.02. That's where value area low for that 90-day volume profile is. Uh, then that's about it. We have one, two, three, a bunch of spikes, rejections, bunch of wicks above. So there's sellers here. So um, every time we move a little higher, we see some selling. Every time we move a little lower, we see some buyers. So this market is still holding this range. So just watch that range for now. NQ a little weaker. You see how it's holding below the previous week's low. And it's trading already. It got very close to that 90-day point of control and it bounced. But still watching that previous week's low, see if we can get back inside that range and see how it reacts to the previous day's value. Crude, it's today's the last day of the F contract. Sierra's asking me to roll over. I still haven't done it yet, but testing the lows. I think isn't it a yearly low, right? If I'm not mistaken, on oil. Let me just look at the yes. We haven't seen lows, the whole year in a couple of years. So I don't know how much lower it could go, but that's what I said when COVID hit and it went negative. So, but this is approaching probably an area where you're gonna see a big buyers show up eventually, right? And gold today. Yesterday I mentioned this 300 to 310 area. Again, we found buyers in this area, and now we're ripping higher, and it's looking like it wants to go back to this highs and go back to the 4400s area. So I would say stay long if you're long gold, and because it's pretty strong this morning. Dollar is kind of weak, so that helps. Maybe that helps. Also, indices go back to value. That in combination with being the 16th of the month, maybe we'll have a little bit of a rally today. We'll see. All right, good luck.